and welcome to a special Halloween YouTube video get together. You, for those who follow the channel, you normally know that we um, do video, do D&D videos. Well, tonight being Halloween, we decided that we were gonna take a jump into Call of Cthulhu for tonight. Um, I've always thought it was interesting, and I thought Halloween would be a perfect time to give it a try. Um, I originally envisioned this as a one shot, so I'm gonna try to do that. But if it runs over, we'll finish it either next week or at an opportune time. I'm Mike. I'll be your lore keeper for tonight. And I'm here with three of my regular D&D cast. Um, before I get into what the scenario is and the changes we've made for tonight, I'll let the cast introduce themselves. Start um, when you introduce yourself, tell us who you are and the name of your character that you're playing. We'll do character descriptions when the three of you meet each other. So we'll start with Robin down at the bottom.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I will be playing Josephine or Josie Glaze.
And tell us what she does.
She is a journalist.
Then we'll go to Josh right above you.
Hi, I'm Josh. I am playing Frederick Allen, an FBI agent, and probably the first to go insane for the night.
We'll see about that. And next, we'll go to Patrick above me.
I'm Patrick. I am playing Professor Moriarty Triskelt, who's a paranormal psychologist professor.
So now I'll say a little bit about the changes I made to this module. The module is called the paper chase. Normally, it's set up for 1 to 2 players plus the keeper. Well, as you can obviously see, we have 3 players plus the keeper. So, to balance out the addition of the 3rd player, I made it a little harder than it would normally be. This module comes in the Call of Cthulhu starter set for 7th edition that they recently put out. The only other change I made is that this module normally takes place in Michigan, and unless there are any Michigan people out there, Nobody wants to be in Michigan on Halloween.
Hey, even the Michigan people don't want to be in Michigan on Halloween.
So this takes place in a suburb of Arkham, which is bad enough because that's Massachusetts on Halloween. It's almost as cold as Michigan. But so we'll jump into this. This is our first time ever doing Call of Cthulhu, so we're gonna do the best we can. Some of the rules might float a bit. So any Call of Cthulhu purist out there, it's Halloween, just roll with it. So it's a fairly cold, windy Halloween evening. In the small suburb of let me find that um, Antiville, which is 3 miles outside of Arkham. It's where a lot of the college workers live so that they don't stay in Arkham. Um, the three of you, well, actually, why don't you tell us what you're doing? Being Halloween night, and you wanted to get out of Arkham because you knew all the college kids were gonna go nuts tonight, as they often do on holidays.
My character was going towards the university so that he could break in to run his radio show on Halloween night.
Uh, yes, you have a radio show that you do at the university.
I mean, break in. I have a key. I'm a
Right.
professor, but they don't know I'm using the equipment to have a radio show.
So it's what might be called a pirate radio show.
Yes.
And what is this radio show about?
It is about paranormal creatures from outer beyond.
No wonder the university doesn't know you're doing it. They would
No.
not, the university would not look kindly on such things, not even on Halloween night.
Not at all.
So, what is,
I run it under my alias, the Sorcerer.
so what is our resident journalist doing?
I'm actually sneaking down to Antiville because my boyfriend kind of runs a speakeasy. Not necessarily a legal thing, but I'm going to go visit him.
So, meeting the boyfriend for a drink, are
Mhm.
we? And then what is our faithful FBI agent doing?
I'm looking for speakeasies on Halloween night. because that's it's the middle of Prohibition, and that's pretty much my job.
So you're not only an FBI agent, you're a revenuer, is what they used to call you.
Yep.
And so are you just out randomly running around?
Yeah, I'm just driving from around the town looking for anyone who looks intoxicated.
Aha.
So there I was looking intoxicated.
Yes, but you're heading into the university.
Right.
And a lot of people at the university tonight look intoxicated, so that's you fit in pretty well. There are bunches of college students staggering around campus tonight. Um, how did our journalist get to this speakeasy?
I told my parents I was needed to go down to the university, so they dropped me off there, and I kind of snuck off and walked to his establishment from there after they left.
That's a 3 mile walk. Eh,
In heels.
well, yeah, yes.
I mean, it's the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about this. Tell me your names again. I'll write your character names again. I'll write them down.
All right, I'm Frederick Allen.
That way I can call you by the correct name. Are you called Frederick or
I'm
do they call
Freddy most of the time.
Freddie?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about our journalist,
Josie Glaze.
Josie, huh?
Yeah, it's Josephine, but I go by Josie.
Is that IE on the end? Or
Yeah.
And the last name is
Glaze, Glaze.
okay. Just making sure I'm spelling it correctly. And what about our professor friend?
Professor Moriarty Triskelt? Spelled just like it sounds.
Moriarty, as in the Sherlock Holmes character?
No, Moriarty.
Oh,
Mari.
Mariery.
Erty. Yeah.
And last name is spelled
Triskelt. Triskelt.
SK
ELT.
ELT. And what do they normally call you?
Professor Moriarty Triskelt.
Oh, your colleagues don't shorten that?
No. No.
Okay.
Moriarty
Yeah.
or Professor. Mostly hey you.
That's
I'm just gonna call you Mary.
Professor Married. There we go. Or that strange guy over in the corner. But okay. So You've gotten into the basement of the university where the radio equipment is. Uh, when you walk into that door, give me a perception check.
How do I do that?
You take two 10-sided dice and you roll under your perception number.
Which is spot hidden.
Yeah, that works.
I got an 18.
How much do you have in spot hidden?
60.
Uh,
Dang.
that's almost that's a hard success, almost a um,
Extreme.
Extra hard success.
extreme success. You notice that as you're going to set up your equipment, you notice that things have been moved around. The equipment's still there, but apparently somebody's been down here moving things.
I look around and check everything. Look for anything else that was disturbed.
It looks like they've shoved most things up against the wall or in the corner like they're making room for something,
Ominous.
which means you have to pull out all your equipment that you're using and put it back around the table so that you can actually do your show.
Well, the show must go on. I start
But,
pulling everything out.
but you also think that because of that, you may have to find another place to do your show if they're going to take up the basement space.
Yeah.
So, um, so while you're setting things up for your show, do you have a guest tonight, or are you just going to be by yourself?
No, the show is largely me just rambling about cryptids the whole time.
Okay. So that's what you'll be doing. How long did your show last?
7 hours.
So you're on the radio from, you cover the night shift from midnight to 7.
Well, 10 to 7 ish.
And
About
you're
10 to 2 in the morning.
and you're hoping there's somebody out there that's actually listening to you.
Oh no, I have millions of fans.
You're sure of it?
They contact me telepathically.
Okay.
Okay, that works. All right. Well, you should be, being Halloween, you should be exceptionally busy tonight as far as your fans are concerned.
We're going to be having a fan question segment where they reach me telepathically.
We'll have to stop in on that a bit later once you get everything set up and going. So while you're doing that, Josie is walking toward her her boyfriend's speakeasy. Being a 3 mile walk, it takes a while to get there.
It's like an hour, I think.
At least.
Yeah,
But
especially in heels.
and healed it would be longer. Actually, this is a good time. What is Joe? How is Josie dressed? If she's going to see her boyfriend, how made up did she get?
I mean, I'm a journalist, so I kind of have to dress professionally anyway. So basically, long skirt, blouse. I obviously have a jacket on since it's Halloween, chilly, and
Dressed in grays and browns, or
yeah.
so? How high are the heels you're trying to walk in?
Well, they're sensible. I mean, they're not like heels. They're sensible shoes.
I was gonna say, being a journalist, you probably you walk around a lot, so you would want sensible footwear.
Right.
Are
Oh,
you headed to a Halloween party, or are you headed just to it's a bar?
Yeah, it's just a bar.
um,
Oh, I mean, it's not a bar. There's bars are illegal. It's not a bar.
well, speakeasies themselves weren't illegal because people could meet there and they had entertainment and such.
Right. I mean, they don't serve alcohol or anything like that.
Juice bars all the way.
Yeah, juice bars.
Yeah, it's just that they can't serve. They can't legally serve alcohol right now.
Of course, they don't.
Just delicious juice. It was left in the bottle a little bit too long.
And how did that worm get there? Uh,
Worm juice.
yeah. So, um, and our FBI/revenuer friend, in his car, Freddie, um, you said he was just randomly driving around.
Yeah. He's not
What?
really anticipating getting too in the mode tonight because he's just looking for places to follow up on later.
Where are you driving?
Not around all the college students because I don't want to actually find college students because I can't get a bribe off them. But so probably anywhere like kind of halfway out of town, just so that it's not the big busy section of it.
Uh, I need you to make me a actual perception roll, not a spot hidden.
So perception isn't a skill that we have.
Um,
There's like listen.
okay, well, listen would work.
Okay.
As you're driving along, You're listening out the side door.
Oh wow, I got an extreme success, a 10.
10 out of what?
50.
Nice. That is exactly an extreme success. That's,
Good
Right
job.
on the nose.
you hear somebody walking in heels down the side street, headed for toward um, Antiville. Uh, they're headed out of town, which is the direction you're heading.
Hey, lady, want a ride?
Oh, where are you heading?
Antiville.
Well, that's where I happen to be going. Sure. As long as you're not going to make me sit in the back of that cop car there.
Nah, you can sit in the front seat, don't you worry.
All right.
He's an FBI agent. It'd be a regular.
Oh, I thought he was a cop.
It'd be
Oh,
a.
okay.
It'd be a regular looking
Oh, okay.
car.
It would be a
Sure.
car that's supposed to not look like a cop car, but
Yeah.
totally does.
Oh,
You know the
okay.
one.
The FBI runs around in regular looking cars.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll get in the passenger seat.
The unmarked Crown Victoria.
Right.
Hey, those don't diss those. Those were cool cars. Those
I'm sure.
you could with that interceptor motor in it, you could catch almost anything.
Or get away.
If you're lucky enough to have one, yeah. Um, sorry about that, guys. My dad was a mechanic for years, so I know these things. Uh, but so you climb in the front, the passenger seat with the kindly, helpful FBI agent, and while that's going on, we're going to go back to our professor who's rummaging around in the basement of Miskatonic University trying to set up his equipment for the radio show. Um, what does the professor look like?
He's stocky. He's about like 5'10". He's solidly built. He's got blonde hair. It's kind of frazzled.
So it's taking you a little bit more time because you didn't assume you would have to move everything back to where it was supposed to be, where you left it the last time you did this.
Gotta move furniture in this bitch.
Like, and outside the door of the basement, you're starting to hear students going past you. You attempt to get any of them to help you do this, or
Yeah. I try and have the students help me finish setting up.
they're like, "What are you doing down here?"
It's extra credit. Hurry up.
Well, they're the two that you got to help you are half drunk anyway, so they actually believe you. And they're like, well, if we help you out, how much extra credit do we get?
A lot.
Uh, Tomorrow morning, they'll realize that they're not, neither one of them's in your class, any of your classes.
I
They're
rolled a 12 on fast talking
12,
Oh wow.
12, 12 out of what?
out of 50.
Nice. So yeah, you convince them to help you finish setting up your radio show program. And do you tell them that's what you're doing?
No,
You're just having them randomly move equipment.
we need this for a project.
Oh, okay.
It's
So,
very scientific in nature. Be careful, don't drop that.
and like I said, they're half drunk. So you say scientific project, and they basically tune out everything else.
It's super
that you're-
technical. Let me tell you all about it.
And they put the stuff where you want, but they basically, short of the word extra credit, they basically tune out everything you're saying. So you get set up and you start your radio show, and
Happy Halloween, public. This is a special one, Ghosts. It's brought to you by the letter W.
W.
Wombats! Go Wombats!
And,
That's the school team.
oh, really? Okay. We
It
can
is
go.
now.
We can go with that. Uh,
Fighting wombats.
More like the wobbling wombat.
So, there's several different classes of Spectre. The class 0 is just your basic poltergeist activity, books flying off of walls. But what you gotta really be worried about is a class 12, full manifestation. It'll really knock your socks off.
And you begin to talk about,
When they're that powerful, they can stand as tall as a building.
and you begin to talk about each one of these classifications, and it takes 4 hours to go through all of these.
Their paralyzing mists cover several blocks at this stage of apparition. They're creating a full nether hellgate.
And you think to yourself, I wonder who's listening at this point. Because you're in the basement alone and have no idea who's hearing you at this point. And
Don't worry, in the second hour, we'll have our guest call-in section, but only through ESP.
well, the professor's in his own little cosmos in the basement. What sort of interaction is Freddie and Josephine having?
So where are you headed tonight?
I'm gonna meet up with my boyfriend.
Ah, You know, I know when I met Gertrude, we spent a lot of good nights out in this town.
Huh? So I don't usually make it out of Arkham much myself, but every once in a while I'll come down here.
Yeah, it's a great little town. And you don't have all those college kids running around.
Well, that's true.
So, does Joe, as you get into town, does Josie point out to Freddie where she wants him to drop her off?
Well, I'm gonna direct him to my boyfriend's house, which is like a block away from where he works. So I'm gonna have him drop me off there, and then I'll wait till he drives off and hoof it over to the speakeasy.
Yeah, I definitely give off a real square vibe because I have no fast talk at all.
And
But I mean,
besides,
you do the polite thing and wait for her to go inside, right?
No, I'm busy tonight. I drive off.
and besides, you realize Gertrude is waiting for you.
Yeah, she's been handing out candy to the trick-or-treaters. We have a little party we're going to go to tonight. With no alcohol at all, I'm sure.
Not with the revenue there, no.
No, I'm actually, like, I'm bringing the booze.
So, is this in the back of your car?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like 2 cases of whiskey in the back of my car that I
That
stole
you
from,
confiscated.
confiscated from another place.
And if Jody had seen that, uh, in fact, give me a spot hidden roll before you get out of the car to see.
Okay, I don't have anything down in spot hidden, so I need to get it under the 25.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, and you said roll 2 10s?
yeah.
10.
Nice.
So you got a 10 and a 00, or
Oh, you said to roll 2 10s. I got a 7 and a 3.
no?
Oh, no.
You roll percentile die.
Oh, and a percentile and a 10.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do that then. 31.
So not
You
quite.
don't see the 2 cases of whiskey in the back of the car. So Freddie pulled up to your boyfriend's house, and you hop out of the car, and
Have a good night, miss.
Thanks, you too.
Happy Halloween.
Yes.
so Freddie drives off to head to the Halloween party, and you walk a block over to this nondescript gray brick building, which looks kind of out of place in a residential neighborhood, actually. But you walk up to a heavy brown door and knock twice, and the door opens, and there's this very tall, very large built man that half opens the door. He's like, "Do you know the password?" what does Josie do at that point?
I don't need a password. I know the guy who runs this place.
The guy says, "You still have to tell me the password."
Does Josie
It's just
remember the password?
it's just it's a safety thing.
Well,
So,
shit, he never told me I had to have a password. Get Mac up here, okay?
okay, just a second. He closes the door. Couple minutes later, it opens again, and Mac is standing there. What does Mac look like?
His average build about 5'8.5", red hair, green eyes.
He's like, "Oh, it's you, Josie."
Yeah, why didn't you mention I needed a password? Did that slip your mind somehow?
Eh, I just forgot to tell Bill here that you were on the password free list.
Uh,
So he opens the door and you walk in, and it is literally packed. All the tables are full. There's people at the bar. Um, yeah, there's a 3-piece jazz band playing in the corner. Everybody's by this time of evening working on getting blotto. So, what do you do?
well, I'm gonna go up to the bar to order a drink.
And like most speakeasies in the 20s, they have what is known as bathtub gin, which was actually seriously deadly stuff. But they put enough flavoring in it that you could almost classify it as drinkable. It would work better as engine lubricant in Freddie's car, but people still drank the stuff. Uh, so, with considerable effort, you take a couple of sips of the drink. Mac is sort of wandering around, just sort of making sure everything is okay. Every now and again, he'll stop back behind the bar. So, are you just sort of conversing with him? Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna find a spot to sit and just kind of people watch.
uh, while we do that, has the professor gotten to his question and answer section of his radio show yet?
Yes. I'm getting a lot of, you don't really have psychic powers. Well, what am I thinking? And those aren't good questions. But this one from Franklin in Illinois, Delaware. Um, about the thing that comes from the outside. Now that is a dangerous question.
Let me tell you all about it.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna do that.
You don't want to scare your listeners away,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to frighten away my only audience.
which happens to be him, apparently.
No, there's tens of people watching, listening.
Yeah, they're
Most of them are
watching.
my FBI agent.
Yeah. I happen to be a big fan of his show.
Freddy actually likes the professor's show.
Yeah, he has no idea what the hell he's talking about, but he really talks real good about it.
So does Freddy consider the professor to be funny, or
Oh no,
does he?
he's got to be a knowledgeable man. He's a professor, so
One time in 1903, there was a Class 12 apparition. It shattered New Orleans, and it never was the same. The
How old?
barbecue scene never recovered.
How old were you when that happened? Well,
Well, I mean, it was only like 30
20
years
years.
ago, right?
Well, if it was in 1903, it was 19 years ago.
Oh, so I was like 20 something.
Oh, so that's one thing we didn't mention. How old are your characters?
I'm 45.
You're 45, okay.
I'm 22.
Just out of journalism school, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And how old is Freddie?
36.
36. Yeah, Freddie would have to be a bit older to have made it through the FBI Academy at this point.
Yeah.
FBI Academy is like the Hunger Games.
Actually, my oldest kid checked into it. Not that hard to do.
Huh.
You have to have become a cop. You have to have made it up to the rank of detective before they'll even consider you for the FBI. That's now. I don't know what it was like in
Well,
1922.
they were looking for lots of people to help bust up the rings, the big criminal rings at the time, so I'm sure it was a little easier. But I mean, I've got good crime knowledge and that kind of thing, so I guess I probably like my law is 50, so
Yeah, you probably did make it to detective first and then go up that way.
yeah.
Which means you're probably, as far as an agent goes, you're probably fairly impressive.
Yeah, you can read and write.
Yeah.
Makes him more impressive than a doctor at this point. Is good luck with that.
Good luck reading their writing anyway.
Yeah. They have to guess most of the time. That's why they came out with tape recorders, because they don't have to write it down, so they don't have to read it. But
Yeah.
So Freddie is. Are you um, driving around Anteville, or?
So I'm headed back to home to which is in Arkham to pick up my wife and head to the party that we're going to.
Okay. So tell us about Gertrude. What does she look like? How old is she?
So Gertrude is a 34-year-old blonde hair, blue eye uh, homemaker. We have 2 kids, and she generally takes care of them, though we're obviously having a babysitter for the night. And she's about 5'4", and yeah, she's the love of his life.
So are you going to bring home lots of candy for the munchkins or
Oh yeah, they went out trick-or-treating before it got too dark, but
uh
that was what
There's no trick
Gertrude.
or treating in my character's family. There's too many specters out there on Halloween Eve. They can be wearing anyone's face at any time for any
especially,
reason.
especially with all the masks out there.
they can even look like college professors that do radio when stuck in the basement doing radio shows.
No, that's the one thing they can't look like.
So you're headed off to pick up your wife. Josie is sitting chatting with Mac at the bar.
A class 4 specter can be known by the blood coming from its eyes.
And your radio show is getting more bizarre as it goes. Um, as Freddy drives the car into the driveway, there's a Arkham City policeman standing in the driveway.
Oh, howdy, Hal. This is Hal, right?
Yep. Hi, Freddy. Sorry to bother you on Halloween. Um, Gertrude told me you guys were just headed out to a party.
Yep.
Um, but I was in the area, so I decided I'd stop and let you know. Apparently, um, one of the wealthier gentlemen in Antiville has gone missing.
Oh no.
His son contacted us. First, his son said that it looked to be just a robbery. There was some books missing. He noticed that his father wasn't there either.
A kidnapping. That's no good. I'll have to look into that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I left my notebook at home, but in the morning I can give you names and such like that. Like I said, I thought I'd mention it, but I didn't want to interrupt your Halloween festivities for you and your wife.
Oh, don't you worry, Hal. This is my job, and I take it very seriously.
Yes, but your wife gave me a look that I would prefer not to have to deal with. So you might take that into consideration. Uh,
Oh, she'll be fine as long as we get to that party on time.
yeah, I'm gonna go home and crash because I have a feeling we're gonna have an early morning tomorrow.
Well, don't you worry, and thank you for bringing this to me.
Not a problem. We'll see. We'll see you around. He just sort of walks down the driveway.
Have a good night, Hal.
You two have fun at the party.
Oh, you know we will.
Don't drink too much. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Oh,
No, who me? That's illegal.
Yeah,
oh, all the cops knew it was going on. Are you kidding? Half of them were making stuff.
yep. I mean, I've got a medical license, or not license, but the waiver, so I'm allowed to drink because, I mean, all I had to do was ask the doc for one.
Yeah. Which anybody can do,
Yeah,
because the doc's probably doing it too.
yep.
Yeah, I got a medical card because my third eye's got glaucoma.
That's rough, especially when the other two are blind. Gets really hard to see at that point. Uh, so and so Freddie collects the wife, and the two of you hop in the car, and she's slightly grumpy because the whole thing with Hal, like, almost ruined our party with that.
Business on a night like this.
Oh, don't worry, babe. I make sure that we get our time in together every night.
Hmm.
You know I love you.
She puts her head on your shoulder as you may pull out of the driveway and head toward the party. And then back at the speakeasy that isn't, or isn't supposed to be, Mac
I can feel the
is
walls of the world grow thin. Something comes tonight. Tonight the specters come.
uh, Professor's losing his mind on his radio. Uh, Mac's talking to you, but he's sort of doing an inventory behind the bar at the same time. And he stands up and looks a little frazzled. He's like, you know what, babe? We're running out of alcohol. They're, they're drinking it faster than I can get it.
Well, I'm not really surprised. There's a lot of people in here tonight.
Yeah. Guess
Um,
guess I should have uh, talked to my contact about ordering more than I did. Uh, we might have to close down a bit early tonight. How, how's the whole reporter thing going, by the way?
Well, it would be a little better if they'd give me real stories. They just, throw the fluff pieces at me so far.
Mm. Have you ever thought about going down and hanging out at the police station and see what kind of gossip you could get a hold of?
Well, that might be a good idea. Haven't thought about that, but
Might luck into an actual case that way.
yeah, then maybe they'd take me seriously.
Yeah, if you help solve a case for the cops, newspaper might actually take a different look at you.
Yeah, thanks. I'll try that out. Good idea.
No problem. And you two keep talking, and he keeps looking a little more frazzled than because he's running out of alcohol, and you're slowly sipping this liquid they call alcohol, and you're like, why does anybody want to drink this stuff? And uh, what is the professor doing on his radio show at this point?
He's taking more guest questions.
Is he getting any real questions?
Is he?
Give me a listen roll, and listening doesn't have to be a physical thing. You can hear all kinds of things.
I got a 24.
Out of what?
I don't have any ranks in it, so 20.
Darn.
You want to spend any of your luck to make that a success? It's only 4 points of luck.
No.
You're not really. You're hearing a lot of.
Your voices are muffled. Send more donations.
You're hearing a lot of spectral chatter, but nothing is.
What's this about? My car warranty. Why would I want to extend it? It's gonna last 100,000 miles.
You have no vehicle anyway. And as I recall, they don't cover Model Ts anyway. So, um, so you're struggling to get a clear question. You keep hearing this name, this one word. And it's the best you can make out. It's Kimball.
Kimbo.
You've it's the only word that's actually coming through to you, and you've heard it several times. So Freddie and Gertrude get to the party. What does Freddie look like?
Freddy is a redhead with green eyes, pale skin, always dresses in a dark suit. He's about 6'4", and he's broad as a brick house.
Hmm.
He works out every day. Does his fisticuffs practice. He's a big, big man.
No wonder Gertrude likes him. Is she the type that, stays connected to his arm, or when you guys get to the party, does she sort of?
Oh, she mingles. She's pretty much the caretaker for their social standing. And since
Okay.
he's wealthy, it has to be at least a little bit of that kind of work done.
Uh,
He's got some good charm and persuade rolls, but he's he's mostly letting her take care of this kind of thing for the night, and he's hanging out with the boys and drinking while she glad hands.
uh, hmm. The party's fairly busy because her friends, her circle of friends, are women that are pretty well known around Arkham. So the, the party's pretty busy, and the the wives of your friends, you know, you, the boys you're hanging out with are all ex-cops, retired cops that they're not as rich as you, but they're pretty well off. They haven't taken quite as many bribes as you have. So, and a couple of them scratch their head every now and again about how did you make the money you made.
I'm a damn good cop, that's how.
um, so the part you practically ignore most of the party. You're you hang
Magneto.
you hang out with your friends, and your wife and her friends do the rest. Um, and the night goes fairly smoothly. Um, you decide it's time to leave when you notice Gertrude getting a little tipsy.
Definitely want to keep her from getting too far gone. So yeah.
Because apparently somebody made punch, but it wasn't regular punch.
Well, I did
So
bring 2 cases of whiskey to the parties.
somebody put one of the bottles in the punch, and
Yeah.
the girls didn't notice. And you hand out bottles to your ex-cop friends, and once again they're like, where in the world did you get this stuff?
It's for your health.
Yeah, I hear whiskey's always been good for that. One of your rotund Irish ex-cop friends says. And at that point, Gertrude sort of staggers over, grabs your arm, and yeah, kisses your cheek and goes, I don't think I'm feeling too well right now.
Well, let's get you home, babe.
So the two of you make your goodbyes, climb in your car, you help her into the car, and you head back to your house for the night. As soon as she makes it to the bedroom, she literally just falls on the bed and passes out.
I tuck her in.
And, and while this is going on, the, the professor actually hears um, the name that he's been searching all night. He's been hearing the word Kimball all night. The Eventually he's able to work out the second word, and it's a name. His name, the name he hears is Douglas Kimball.
Douglas Kimball. Who is Douglas Kimball?
Who that is or what it means, but he hears one of his spirit listeners says it as clear as he's ever heard anything. Douglas Kimball. Did you?
Douglas Kimball was a 39-year-old explorer of the mind when he was lost into the abyss. He was meditating in a back alley of a Versailles coffee shop when he went too deep and was sucked off into the void. The
So
psionic imprint of his parting was left for ages, and it can be felt to this day. You go there and you feel a vague sense of disruption.
So that's what the professor comes up with from this name, huh?
As if your very step could take you from this world into the next.
And with that, you look up at the old clock on the wall, and it's 2 a.m.
Oh, it's time for me to be signing off. Well, yours truly, the sorcerer. Signing off to all the ships at sea.
And instead of putting the equipment back where you uh, moved it from, you just leave it there and get up and leave.
Oh, definitely. I don't put it back.
And
It's my
does
equipment.
does the professor live on or near campus, or
Yes, I live pretty close to campus. I have an apartment building.
uh, so you head home for the night? You take a couple of shots of whiskey once you get in the door, and then being 2 in the morning, You pretty much crash at that point.
I carefully crawl into bed next to my wife, give her a quick chest kiss, and go to bed.
She's
She's asleep. She doesn't want anything more than that.
she moves. You hear her mumble something, and then she goes back to sleep. And down at the speakeasy, you guys barely make it till 2 a.m., which is your normal closing time. You end up closing with half a bottle of bathtub gin left. You barely have enough alcohol to make it through the night. After Mac cleaned up the bar and William, the security, quote, security, ushered everybody out of the place, what do you and Mac do?
Well, still have half a bottle of this god awful stuff. Might as well split it.
Okay. So you two grab bar stools. Mac tells William to go ahead and go home because he'll lock up when you guys are done. So William splits, and it's just the two of you sitting at the bar. What's the conversation?
Well, I want to know more about his idea of me hanging around the police station. I mean, do you think they'll ask why I'm there, or
Well, yes, but
because I can't really verify that the editor sent me there because he won't have.
yes, but you have your press pass badge from the newspaper.
Yes.
So the cops will just assume that you've been switched over to the crime beat from, you know, the beauty section of the newspaper. Um, and as long as you ask intelligent questions, they won't. I doubt if they'll take the time to check with the editor anyway.
All right. Because yes, I would definitely like the opportunity to, get my hands on a big story.
That's short of just snooping around the alleys and the street. That's probably the easiest way. And it's a whole lot safer.
Yeah, you want to get the story, not be the story.
Exactly.
So, and with that, you guys finish the bottle of alcohol. You're both wondering why the hell you bothered. Because you've tasted perfume that tastes better than this.
But now you're mega drunk.
Yeah. So, Mac lives a block away.
Mm-hmm.
Are you just gonna crash at Mac's house, or
Yeah.
so you guys walk a block to Mac's house? So tell me what happens when you guys get to Mac's house.
Well, it's 2 in the morning, so we're probably just gonna get the sack.
It's 2 in the morning and both of you are about 3/4 slashed. Yeah. So morning comes. Um, Gertrude tries to get up to make breakfast, cannot manage to get out of bed.
Don't worry, babe. I got breakfast for you. I can do eggs and steak.
Fact, when she does, she gets really dizzy and grabs your arm and stuff.
Luckily,
She's
I'm literally, like, I think as solid as I can be, so there's no way she's pulling me down.
So she's like, somebody put a hell of a something in that punch last night.
Maybe I should have given out that medicinal whiskey at the end of the party instead of at the beginning.
Mm, that would have possibly worked better, yeah.
I plead the fifth of whiskey.
Well, the professor's the only one that wasn't slammed last night. You
No,
take
no. He was definitely slammed.
from 2 shots of whiskey that he had when he got home from his radio show.
Well, plus his like hip flask.
You didn't mention that.
How do you think he keeps going for a whole radio show?
Gotta wet your whistle.
So by the end of the radio show, he's definitely hearing things, whether it's real or not.
Yeah. He's big on that absinthe.
Oh,
Oh god.
You must go. You must go to a high-end bar because your regular speakeasy at this point wouldn't even have that.
My credit rating's pretty good.
So, um, and then, so when you try to get up in the morning, did your wife even notice you, or is she still asleep from last night, or how early do you get up?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I get up at around like 9 o'clock.
Early for a professor.
My wife's already done everything, cooked breakfast, taking care of the kids.
So, tell us about your family life. You didn't mention the wife and the kids, so how is that?
I have a wife and 3 kids that I definitely made up backstories for.
uh, so you said you were 45. So how
Yeah,
how long have you been married?
about 12 years now. Since I was 33.
Okay.
I met her in a bowling alley. We were playing skee ball.
Who won?
I don't think there was skee ball in the 1920s, but I won. I definitely won.
Oh
It
no,
was a hard fought battle.
skee ball's been around for like a while. I think it's been
Yeah.
around since the 1910s.
Huh. I guess it was still new in the 20s.
Yeah.
It was one of those hot fad things that was happening.
Cost a whole quarter. That's like a lot of money in the 20s.
Yeah.
Actually is.
That's like enough to buy lunch or something.
Yeah, a pair of shoes is like $3, so
So after 12 years and 3 kids, um, does the professor and his wife still get along, or is it one of those things like, I go to work every day to get away from this,
We have an excellent, loving relationship.
and the kids are just wonderful, right?
Well, I mean, if they weren't, we'd send them to military school. You can still do that. This is the 20s.
You can still do that today. Kidding?
Of course, they're only 6 years old or so. I was like, that's old enough. Go to military school. Bye.
You've been banished.
I've seen black belts at 6. Are you kidding? Um, so, okay. You wake up, struggle your way out of bed. Your head is pounding from the mixture of absinthe and whiskey you had last night. Every time you do that, you say to yourself, why the hell did I do that? But you
Then
continue.
you do it again.
And you go into the kitchen, and your wife has plates of food sitting there, and the kids see you walk through the doorway, and they mob you at the door. They're like,
All right, kids, just mob me quietly.
they're like, Dad, you missed Halloween. Look at all the candy we've got. And they've spread bags of candy on the kitchen floor. You
Oh,
have
you mean look at all the candy I've got?
you have to avoid. You have to step gingerly to avoid these piles of candy on the floor.
What did you do? Go to every house in the quarter?
Your wife says, "Oh, we hit every house in Arkham last night. They've got enough candy to last to Valentine's Day." It's like,
Did you see any specters?
they're invisible, aren't they?
I gave you specter detectors.
Oh, that's what these little plastic things were. Okay. No, we didn't see anything.
Oh, good.
I
It's the
thought they
ones you don't see that are the most beautiful to behold.
I thought they were some kind of plastic kid's toy. But okay. Breakfast is ready. Let your dad sit down and have breakfast. No candy until after breakfast. She says, "Do you have any classes going today?"
Not today. It's Monday. I don't teach on Monday.
Uh,
Not after that one teacher got murdered.
Strange university you teach at. People keep disappearing from this place.
Perfectly normal, perfectly healthy.
She looks at you with a look that says you've got to be kidding. And it's a look you see on a regular basis. Um, so sunlight comes in the window at Mac's place. It's 9 a.m. You are both jolted awake, or blinded awake, should I say. What do you do?
Asking why he doesn't invest in a thicker set of curtains.
He says uh, when this silly liquor law is over and I'm making more money, I'll do that.
Ha, you've been enveloped by darkness.
After breakfast, the electricity in the professor's house goes out.
Oh no. And
Specters.
did you pay the bill? I look around for a flashlight.
In the 20s, you would have been responsible for paying the bill. She barely leaves the house. She's got 3 kids to take care of.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I pay the bill. That's why I make the big bucks.
So on the way to the class you don't have today, you need to pay the electric bill.
I definitely paid it.
Well, then you need to go down to the electric company and talk to them, because if you paid the bill and your power just went out, you have a problem. So, you and Mac are both very sluggish this morning. Not that you drank a lot, but you really don't have any idea what you did drink. From the taste, it could have been paint thinner for all you
It
know.
probably was.
So, do you guys attempt breakfast or?
Well, neither of us are what you'd call, great cooks, so we'll probably go to a diner or something somewhere to grab breakfast.
Because right after breakfast, you have to head to the police department.
Mm.
And speaking of the police department, as Freddie is finishing breakfast, there's a knock on the door, and Gertrude's like, could you get that? I don't want to get up right now.
Of course, babe.
She's sitting at the table, barely able to put food down. And you open the door, and it's your friend Howell from yesterday. He's like, hey, Freddie, how was the party?
Oh, it was wonderful, Hal. Just wonderful. Gertrude, spent a little more time with medicine than she probably should have, but
You hear her, like, sadly chuckle at the comment. Um, the, well, you had a chance to. You probably haven't been in yet, then.
No, I just made breakfast, so I've been taking care of the kids for Gertie.
Mm. Well, we gotta. The son called again this morning asking why there hasn't been anybody by his father's place.
Hmm.
I had to let him know that yesterday was Halloween, and you know he got he got a little testy at that. You know, but
Well, as soon as I'm finished up here, I'll go down there and see what's going on.
mm, okay, it's it's actually the name of the guy. The son is Kimball. Is the old Douglas Kimball house on the edge of town. The kid's named Thomas.
All right. Douglas Kimball's house and Thomas Kimball's his son.
Yeah, he said he he's gonna be there today, so he would meet anybody that uh, showed up.
Well, give me just 20 more minutes and I'll be by there.
Okay, I'm I'm gonna head back to the station.
Good luck, Hal.
I'll talk to you later.
Yep. My best to the kids.
Yours too. And um, the other thing Hal told you before you leave, the address for the Kimball place is 218 Aylesbury Street.
Aylesbury?
Yeah, Aylesbury.
All right. 218 Aylesbury Street.
And
So I get everything cleaned up for breakfast and hop in the car and start heading down to 218 Aylesbury.
okay, you get there, and Thomas Kimball is standing in the driveway. And I was wrong. He's not Douglas Kimball's son. He's his nephew.
Ah, nephew.
Yeah. And he's like, well, it's about time cops showed up. So somebody broke in and stole some of my uncle's books.
I heard there's a chance this was a kidnapping. I'm FBI agent Frederick Allen.
Yeah, my uncle disappeared and we don't know what's happened to him. And he's an older gentleman, so it's, you know, we're really worried that he's gotten himself lost or kidnapped, or he wouldn't be strong enough to fight anybody off.
Well, don't you worry, I'm on the case.
And he takes you in, and there's books in every room of this house, and it's a fairly large house. There's even books in the bathroom. If there's,
Like little bathroom shelves or like full on shelving.
it's full on shelving with books.
Oh, wow.
Um, Thomas says, "Yeah, my uncle read constantly." And he describes his uncle as an elderly man, balding with a little white hair, of average height, normal clothing, wearing a pair of spectacles. The only room in the house that doesn't have books in it is the guest bedroom.
Okay.
And he says, "I would like it if you could hire some investigators to find where my uncle went. I am willing to pay them."
Well, sure. We can get some extra men on this. Someone outside of the force, if that's what you mean.
It's probably best. We don't want to make my uncle look like a doddering old fool. So, keeping this as low key as possible would probably be best.
All right. I'll do what I can, and if you find anybody that you want to put on the case, just send them to me. And so I'm looking around as I say this kind of thing, and do I notice any particular pattern to the missing books?
Not really. It's kind of random. A book here, a book there.
Not just like an entire shelf missing, but like a couple books missing from variously around the place.
Yeah. And what you do notice is he has books on everything.
So he's a non-fiction reader in addition to his fiction.
Yeah. You you even see a Lovecraft book, which you recognize because the professor has mentioned Lovecraft on his radio show.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know this man got all that much attention.
But you also notice the two books next to that one are missing.
Hmm.
So what do you do next?
Let's see. This is 1920s. Did they do fingerprinting in the 20s?
I don't know. They
Let me
didn't
check.
have. I don't think they had that then. I could be wrong, but I don't think
I have no clue. Oh, yep. By the 20s, fingerprinting was regular procedure for police.
so. Okay.
So
Do
I
you
guess
have a fingerprint kit, or you gonna have to go get
I'm gonna have to go
reg-
get a kit from the
regular?
the
Re-
regular cops.
you're gonna have to go down to the police station to
Yeah, that's where I'm
maybe
headed.
collect Hal.
Yeah, if they've got him on the case as the next as their detective from the robbery side, then
Yeah,
he'd probably be better at doing the fingerprinting than I would.
yeah, true. So you leave the Douglas estate and head toward the police department.
Yep.
When you get there, you talk to the watch commander and ask to talk to Hal. And he said he's happy to go dust the place. You also, but you see something you've never seen before, which is you see a lady standing there,
Hey,
dressed.
I think I saw her yesterday.
Yep, it's the lady you dropped off last night.
Well, hello, ma'am.
Hi. You gave me a ride last night, didn't you?
Yeah. What you doing here?
Oh, I guess I didn't mention last night. I'm a reporter.
How are you?
Yeah.
She's a reporter for the Arkham Gazette.
Well, I might just have a case for you. If you're looking to do some investigating on your own.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. Looking for anything that might sound interesting. Any juicy cases you got?
Well, this one's a robbery and maybe a kidnapping.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in investigating.
Definitely different than what they usually have you doing.
Yes.
So I go into the details of the case as Thomas explained them to me.
And as you're doing it, um, you, um, you get this little thought in the back of your head, which is, with the odd way that the house was laid out and the books that were missing, and the Lovecraft book that you saw, you you get the odd feeling that maybe the guy that runs that odd radio show that you like might be useful.
Oh yeah, if this is specters, then we want to get the best expert in the town on them. And there's a
The,
chance that it's specters. There's always a chance that it's specters.
well,
You believe in all that stuff, really?
Oh yeah, there's a professor in town that talks about it every couple nights.
Yeah, I've heard some of his show. He sounds like a nutcase.
Oh, there's no way he's a nutcase. He's a professor.
A professor in that case.
My psychoanalysis is at 1%, so I'm real good at detecting that kind of person.
You think he's absolutely solid, and he's just wonderful.
Yeah.
He's got some pretty bizarre ideas, but if you really think he could be of help, I guess, might as well.
So Josie climbs once again into the passenger seat of Freddy's car. This time, you smell a prevailing smell of whiskey that you didn't smell the night before. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, that. That's some medicine that I was taking to a doc.
Okay. Smells just like medicine. Yeah.
At this point, whiskey was considered medicine, at least part of the time. But
Well,
then
today,
again,
whiskey's considered medicine part of the time.
but then again, so was Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper was created in 1888
Actually,
and was considered medicine at the time.
the soda is Dr. Pepper, right? So what you're drinking is not actually Dr. Pepper, but it's Pepper's Monster.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So you guys drive onto the arc on the Miskatonic University grounds. Freddie parks in one of the guest parking spots. There aren't very many because there just aren't many cars these days.
Yeah.
And the two of you get out and walk into the main university building. And there's a stylishly dressed, blonde, looks like college student age girl standing behind a sort of podium like desk when you walk in. She's like, "Welcome to Miskatonic University. How can I help you?"
Hi, I'm looking for Professor Moriarty Triskelt.
Uh, his office would be in this building, but on the third floor.
All right.
That would be, and she flips through a book. That would be um, number 312. This is Monday's generally his day off. I don't know if he's up there, but you can go look,
All
or
right.
you're welcome to go look.
And if we don't find him up there, do you happen to have his address on file? We are doing this for an investigation, I say, showing my badge.
Oh, well, I can look for it.
Thank you. While you're looking for it, we'll go head up to his office.
Patrick,
Yes.
is the professor in his office today?
He had to come in to grade papers, so yes.
Okay. So, as the two of you walk up 3 flights of stairs, And after a couple of minutes, you get to the third floor. The office number 312 is at the end of the left side of the hall. And so, which one of you knocks on the door when you get there?
Freddy probably knocks because he's that kind of forward guy. So
So, the professor is busily grading papers, you hear a knock on your office door.
Yes, yes, come in.
we enter, or I enter. I assume so does
Yes, I'll
Josephine.
follow you. We'll both
Alright.
enter.
Good, you brought my coffee then.
Sorry about that, Professor, but we're here to talk to you about maybe getting your help on a case. I say, showing my
And you
badge.
didn't even bring coffee.
We can get coffee and donuts on the way to the place if you would like.
Well, what's this case about here?
Well, there's been a kidnapping, probably, and definitely some very mysterious books are missing. I listened to your show, and I learned
What
about.
show? I didn't say anything about any show. What are you talking about?
Well, I learned about this Lovecraft character from you. You see, and some of the books near his in this old man's house went missing.
In the show that I definitely don't have on these illegal transmitters.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Well,
don't you worry about that.
you hear the name Lovecraft and suddenly you become interested in what's going on.
I do think you might require my expertise. This may forgive your lack of coffee.
Your expertise on things that don't exist.
Well, yes, my dear. What other things would there be to be an expert in? You wouldn't want to pick a field where everything's already known. That's terribly boring.
Well, I, for one, believe in what I can see with my own eyes.
Oh, I picked up one of them Spectre detectors that you sell through your merchandising. We could show her one of them Spectres if we find one.
Yeah, definitely. You have to use two nowadays, though. They've gone immune to the first level Spectre detector. You have to have one and then invert it into the other, and it changes the flow so that you can see them. It's called an inverted detector.
Oh wow, I had no idea about that. I must have missed the show where you talked about that.
Yeah, it's actually tomorrow's episode.
Oh,
You better tune in.
well, you bet I will.
To the show that you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the show that I don't have that no one listens to.
Right. Above game, guys, it's 9 o'clock. Do any of you need a break?
I could use like 10, 15 minutes to grab
Yeah.
a drink.
Okay. It's 9:05, so we will come back at 9:20.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, for those of you watching or listening, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back to see what kind of trouble these three bumble themselves into. Because I'm sure once they find out, it'll be the main topic on the professor's radio show tomorrow night. So,
If we survive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll be right back.
Huh.
Your special Halloween episode of Call of Cthulhu. We're going through the paper chase module out of the starter kit, although I've modified it a bit and we've strayed off of that even a bit. So, but hope you're having fun watching us do it because we're having a blast doing it. When we left our intrepid group of investigators who just met each other, you two had just met the professor and told him what was going on. He still wants a cup of coffee. So, what did the three of you do at that point?
Well, clearly we go to get the coffee.
I'm sure there's some place that sells coffee and baked goods.
Well, yes, you can find a diner fairly close to campus. Or you could be braver and risk it and go to the Miskatonic University cafeteria.
We want the cafeteria coffee. It's the best.
All right.
There you go then.
Okay.
It's made by this woman named Louise. If I wasn't married, oh my god, the things I'd do to this woman. Wow. Mostly I'd buy
does,
her flowers and thank her for her expertise.
does the does the cafeteria have donuts too, or are we just talking coffee?
Well, I mean, of course they have donuts. This is a college.
Yeah.
So the professor gets up from his desk, leads you two out of the office, locks the office door, and guides you down to the cafeteria, which is on the main floor near the end of the building that the girl you talked to when you walked in the door is standing. And when you get down there, she's still standing there. She says, "Oh, you found the professor. Good."
Yep. Thanks for your time.
And the two of you walk down to the end of the main floor and walk into the cafeteria. There's about a dozen students sitting at various tables, studying or chatting and drinking coffee, what have you. Um, you said this woman's name is Lois.
I think so.
The three of you walk back to the counter where you ordered food and such. And there is a middle-aged lady standing there. She's wearing an apron and a hairnet, a gray flowered dress. Pretty standard for cafeteria worker of this era. She says, "Oh, Professor, good to see you. Haven't been down here in a few days."
I had to crawl out of my cave someday.
Well, I guess you have to do it every now and again.
That's what they pay me for.
So, see, you brought a couple of friends.
Yeah, I wanted to give them some of the good stuff. You got that coffee today?
Actually, I just made a fresh pot. We're building up for lunch rush in a little bit. Yeah.
Good, we'll give it here. Much too good for students.
If only the students felt that way. So she grabs 3 actual coffee cups and fills them up. Hands it to you. Professor, that'll be for the 3 cups of coffee, that's 15 cents.
Just put it on my account.
I tip her
Your,
a dime.
your account's getting pretty big there, Professor. You're going to have to consider paying it off soon.
Oh, I have tenure.
Not if you don't pay your tab.
No, surely someone told you.
Well, you have to take it up with the dean of administration then. And with that, the 3 of you take your cups of coffee and sit down at an empty table at the far end of the cafeteria.
I add a bunch of creamer to my coffee.
Bunch of what?
Creamer.
Oh. You're one of these people that likes a little coffee with their creamer, huh?
Yeah, you know, about half and half.
So,
And then a third half is rum.
so, what is the conversation that's going on at this table?
So you said you were investigating something dark.
Yeah, so Douglas Kimball, a little old man, seems to have gone
Douglas
missing.
Kimball?
Yeah,
Which is the name you heard?
Right.
Yeah. Last night.
To go on.
so his house down on Aylesbury, they apparently robbed the place of a bunch of books. Looked like pretty much just anything they felt like getting their paws on, and he himself has disappeared. So we're thinking it might be a robbery and a kidnapping. Or we're hoping it's a kidnapping and not the worst.
Don't want to turn this kidnapping into a murder.
Exactly.
Well, quickly, the game is afoot. Why are we all wasting time getting coffee then?
I've got my notebook out and I'm writing all of this down.
Because you wanted coffee.
So Frederick drains his coffee and says, "You're right. We should get on this."
Lives are at stake. Dolores, get me another coffee.
It's Louise, sir.
Or no, you said Lois the first time.
Yeah.
But then again, the professor is somebody who wouldn't remember names anyway.
Apparently so.
No, he'd try to, and he'd usually be wrong, but he'd be doing it meaningfully well. He wouldn't like he'd honest, yeah. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he'd really mean it, but he'd never get your name right. It's
So,
the 18th time. You've given up. You're just Lois now.
yeah, she's like, eh, and comes over and brings you another coffee. It's like, I suppose you're adding another nickel to your tab.
Oh no, I can pay you for this one, and I give her a dolly.
She's like,
No, keep the change.
she's like, if you can do that now, why did you pay your tab before now?
You know.
And she turns and walks away. She's like, he's she's thinking to herself, he's oddly attractive, but he's really weird. Um,
I get that a lot.
so you're sitting sipping your second cup of coffee.
So where are we gonna go look for clues? Isn't that a thing that you guys do?
Yeah, we're gonna head to his house.
I was just
And
gonna say, shouldn't we start at his house?
yeah,
I
that's
mean, that would be the logical approach. So why don't we go to his place of work?
I don't actually know where he works yet. We've got to check with his nephew, who is at his house.
Then quickly to his house.
So we quickly
As
to
you
his.
order a third cup of coffee.
yeah,
Lois, just one more. I actually just leave the pot.
No, we gotta go, man. We gotta go.
Oh, to go cups for everyone then. Oh, and the caramel? Thanks. It'll just take a minute to heat up the caramel, but it's worth it.
Can I try to persuade the professor to go faster?
try to do what?
Persuade the professor to actually go?
Is it contested by persuade?
I think so.
Yeah. Whoever gets the higher persuade, the lower persuade roll wins.
Oh no, I got a 73.
I got a 14.
The professor's not moving without his caramel.
I could try to persuade.
Okay.
72. Damn. Out of 70.
Nope. You both, you both fail.
You're like dragging on him, and he's like, no.
It'll just take a second. It's totally worth it though.
So, did they even have like styrofoam to go cups in the 20s?
I think they had some kind of to-go cup. I think it was paper though.
Paper, probably.
Uh,
With a cardboard sleeve.
uh, so, after a couple of minutes, Lois comes over with a steaming pot of caramel. And she's like, "Now, what did you want me to do with this?"
It goes in the coffee.
Uh, So she pours a third of the pot in each one of your cups and walks away.
That oh what and he just looks at it and then drinks it and then kind of walks off.
So 30 minutes after we intended to leave, we we get in my car.
3 cups of coffee with caramel shots. And
Yeah.
so you all get into Freddy's car. Lois or Josie gets in the passenger seat. She's gotten oddly comfortable in that passenger seat now. Uh, and the professor climbs in the back seat of the car.
Careful of that shotgun there. It's loaded.
You just wander around with loaded guns? What kind of
FBI agent?
oh I they told me you were a professor.
What?
No, Freddy's an FBI agent.
Oh.
You're the
I thought I was the FBI agent.
apparently. Uh,
You've been hit the medicine already.
Oh. Yeah, you know, a fifth of rum a day keeps the
either
doctor
that,
away.
either that, or he needs a 4th cup of coffee. One or the other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no.
And then we drive off.
Well, you weren't gonna drink yours anyways.
Not with all that caramel in it. I only take black coffee. It's good for you, like Coca-Cola.
It's an FBI requirement. You can only drink black coffee.
Black coffee and Coca-Cola.
Yep. The good
Still
stuff.
has the cocaine in it in the 20s.
Yep.
And for people who are really ill, there's Coke mixed with Dr. Pepper, and it'll cure almost anything.
Yeah.
Coke mixed with Pepper's Monster.
Either that or it'll kill anything, one or the other.
You know, they use Coca-Cola to remove bloodstains from highways.
That makes sense. It removes pretty much everything from the inside of your mouth, so
This is just another Coca-Cola fact.
So, so
If you really wanted to get rid of a body, you could leave it in Coca-Cola for 24 hours.
it would take longer than 24 hours. But that's another story for another Cthulhu episode at some point.
yeah.
Uh,
Just don't do it in the bathtub.
and you guys make your way out to the Kimball estate. Beautiful house, beautiful large brick house. The gardens are taken care of immaculately. And you walk up to the front door. As you do, you hear a loud bark.
Huh. There wasn't a dog here when I was last here.
I bark back.
Uh, so, is Freddy gonna knock on the door?
Yeah.
So, you knock on the door, and a couple minutes later, Thomas Kimball opens the door. He's a middle-aged man, about the professor age, but he's very athletically built, and you can tell he's got a even more stressed look on his face than he did this morning when you spoke to him.
So I brought you a couple maybe investigators.
Ah, okay.
But
I'm Thomas Kimball, the nephew of the man in question, Douglas Kimball.
nephew of the deceased.
Let's hope not.
I should say so. We're hoping he's just a doddering old man that wandered off.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Hold it, you're not that old. Why do you wander off?
People are boring.
True.
So
In any case,
this would be the professor,
yes.
and
In
this is
any case,
Josephine.
And I flash him my press pass, press badge.
reporter.
That's right.
Mm. And good sir, what are you a professor of?
I teach math.
Okay.
That's dangerous in this world.
Well, he gives you a sideways look like, what does math have to do with this?
No one ever did enough calculus to open a hell gate. Until me.
That's because the genius children in the world aren't focused on the right thing. So, um, I'm willing to pay each of you $10 to find my uncle.
$10. All right, that's enough to get lunch.
Uh,
It's like $100.
actually, in 1922, $10 is the equivalent of $240
Oh wow.
in, in today's money.
So lunch for 5 somewhere nice is like $10.
Yeah, or lunch for one in the Stratosphere Tower here in Vegas. But it's like I'll give you half of it now and half of it when you either find my uncle or find what's left of him.
Did Hal come by and do some fingerprinting?
There was a city policeman here earlier, yes.
Ah, good. Hopefully,
He,
if it's anyone known to the cops, we'll be able to track him down fast.
he wouldn't, he didn't tell me if they found anything. But then again, I guess they had to analyze it and all that. So,
Well, I
uh,
guess I'll take a quick look around then, see if there's anything that they missed.
and uh, Josie and Freddie can tell floor to ceiling, every room, even the bathroom.
Hmm. Is it bad if I rolled a 98?
For what?
Well, looking around.
That just means you saw books, but you didn't find anything of use.
There's nothing useful here.
Except every, like, other shelf has like 3 or 4 books gone off of it.
I'm gonna ask Thomas if he's familiar enough with his uncle's library that he could maybe tell us which books are missing, if he has any idea which ones have been taken.
I know which ones are missing. The
Give
important ones.
give me a persuasion roll to see if you can.
Okay. 65 out of 70.
Uh, this there's from what I've been able to gather looking around myself, there's around 40 or 50 books missing. Subjects are scattered. There's no real pattern to it. But
School books are expensive these days.
but that is how my uncle read. He would pick up one book and then read part of it and put it down and pick up another book. So he was reading constantly, but he was never organized about it. So the only thing that sticks out to me is that, see the shelf over there with the Lovecraft book?
Yes.
There were at least half a dozen other Lovecraft books on that shelf. So 6 of those are missing.
Probably not important. Who reads Lovecraft?
The professor would actually.
So why would they leave this one and take the others?
Because they already own this copy.
Maybe he's read that one already. I don't.
Could be.
This one's pretty common. I have like 2 copies on my shelf.
So that's a lot of books to move by yourself. Maybe we'd expect him to have a car?
No. He was too old to be driving.
Oh no, I mean the robber.
Possibly.
And there could have been more than one person too.
That's true. Maybe when the fingerprints come back, we'll find out how many people were in here.
Well, I know for one you'll find mine, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, once we narrow down yours and your uncle's, it's just anybody that he knew, or well, what we're hoping to find is a well-known criminal who's been through the system, and we've got his prints on file.
Well, hopefully that's true. You're welcome to look around, but if there's not anything else I can do for you, I have other matters to attend to.
You go on ahead. We'll look around a little more.
And if you need to get a hold of me, you can always leave a note with the staff here, and I'll find it. And with that, he turned around and walks away.
All right. So, what do we know?
We know the professor's missing, books are missing. It doesn't necessarily look like there was a fight. So,
No, you don't see.
There's no spots of blood or anything like that.
You don't see scuff marks or blood or anything.
so he probably knew whoever he went with, and he probably went with them fairly willingly.
Well, either that or he was overpowered. I mean, he was an older gentleman from what we've been told. So,
This is only the main room in the house. You haven't ventured anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
We should look through the rest of the rooms of the house and see if anything looks out of place.
That's a
yes.
good plan. Split up, gang. We'll cover more ground that way.
So the three of you go off in different directions. One of you goes into the kitchen, and the other two head upstairs. You can decide which is which.
I'll go to the kitchen.
I'll go upstairs.
I'll go upstairs. I'll go into the missing guy's bedroom. Look around there. Kimball.
Yep,
Yeah.
Douglas.
Douglas.
Freddy, the kitchen looks quite neat, actually. They must have a maid or a cook or something because the kitchen looks like it's just been cleaned
Hmm. Like clean today?
this morning, yes.
Oh, no, that's weird when he went missing last night. I guess the staff is that fastidious, but there's a chance that there was a scuffle in here and we would lose that evidence.
Do you have anything in spot hidden by chance?
Yeah, I'm at 50% on it.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
51.
Ooh, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Everything is cleaned. Everything is in its place.
If
It
I'm
almost,
specifically checking the knives and that kind of thing, do I get a bonus die?
you can give me, actually, you can push your spot hidden roll
Oh yeah.
because now you're looking for something specific.
Okay, now it is a 7.
Whoa,
Yeah.
drops, goes from a failure to an extreme success. Um, you notice that in the knife block, one of the knives are missing.
Hmm. Now that's weird to be having around here. Why would a knife go missing from this old gentleman's knife block?
And like I said, everything else in the kitchen is immaculate.
Yeah.
So it's odd that a knife, singular knife, would be gone. So the where does the professor go? You said he went upstairs. Where upstairs did he go?
Uh, we're at the person's house, so I was looking through the rooms up there,
Yeah.
trying to see if he had a study or somewhere else that he kept books.
He has a study. It's actually on the main floor.
So
Across,
I kind of see the study as I'm walking in to go upstairs, and I head straight there.
it's across from the kitchen. Yes. Uh, so instead of going upstairs, you stop and go into his study.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. His study is a decent size room, not terribly large, but you know, pretty good as far as studies go. And there's once again several bookshelves full of books. Do you have spot hidden?
I
No.
do.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
If it's one of the skills I have a focus in, that means I add 20 to my thing for it.
Yeah.
I rolled a 98.
Oof.
You fail. This room looks like a normal study to you. There are several bookshelves lining the wall.
Nothing out of place here.
Actually, not even any of the books are out of place.
I start pulling on the books.
They come out in your hands. They're just books on the shelf.
No secret cabinets here. I start tapping on the walls.
The dog you heard when you came in, when you came up the drive, starts barking from the noise you're making.
He doesn't like that. A clear sign that there might be a hidden cabinet. We should tear out the wall.
You'll have to talk to Thomas about that.
All right, Thomas, we need to tear out the wall.
Oh, he's
That-
gone right now.
yeah, you have to catch him later. So, do you attempt to look at the desk or anything, or
Yes,
is
I look at the desk.
give me another spot hidden roll?
Spot desk. A 2.
Oh, there you go.
I thought it was a little bit better.
Under this desk is a mess where everything else in the house is very neatly taken care of. This desk is a mess. Papers everywhere. Cigar ends, wrappers from cigars. This desk is a mess. But you see an edge of paper sticking out from the bottom of the pile. Do you try to move? Try to.
Yeah, I pull out that piece of paper.
It looks like a handwritten note.
I try to read it.
It's barely legible because the person who wrote it, his hand shakes, so the writing is not quite clear.
I try
But,
harder to read it.
but it says, may start reading in the cemetery. I want to be closer and spend more time with Linda. I have missed her greatly since she passed. And that's where the note ends.
So I guess we check out the graveyard then. I go to the kitchen, I guess, to show the note to the FBI agent.
So the professor walks up on you in the kitchen and shows you this very shakily written, handwritten note.
All right. We can head to the graveyard as soon as Josephine's done upstairs.
And Josie, when you walk into the bedroom, it's not quite as bad as the study, but there's blankets strewn everywhere and sheets in piles, and the window's open. So, even though it's been a couple of days, apparently, the last night he slept in this room doesn't look like it went peacefully. So what do you do?
You said the window's open, right?
Yeah.
I'll walk over and look down from the window and see if there's anything like in the yard below that I can see.
There is a flower box with yellow and purple flowers directly below the window.
Does it look like any of them have been trampled or
Yes,
disturbed in any way? Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
You, um, I was going to say, um, perception is not a skill. So what would you have that would be close to that?
The closest I have to that would be listen.
That's not going to help you in this situation.
'Cause, yeah, I don't have spot hidden.
You,
Track?
Mm.
I have track.
um, do you have anything in track or not?
No.
So you just have the basic 20 to 25%.
Right.
You can still give me a roll on that and see if you can get under that.
Okay. On track.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, track is 10%.
Good luck.
Yeah. 98.
What is it with the 98s tonight?
you just see a flower box with purple and yellow flowers in it. So, but that's pretty much all you see in his bedroom. It's been shuffled around and the window's open. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go back downstairs?
Well, I'll look around a little bit. Like, I'll look under the bed and see if there's anything there.
Um, give me a spot hidden roll, even though you don't have.
86.
I thought you rolled low.
Eh,
Yeah, and the funny thing is in D&D I roll terribly, and in this, when it actually rolling terribly is what you want to do, I've been rolling.
well, no, you're rolling terribly in this game too. So
Yeah.
it's just that in this game, terribly is higher, so you're
Right.
rolling higher. Um,
Polterdice.
you've just been cursed to roll horribly in whatever game you're in. But yeah, maybe you should get the professor to work on that for you. But so you don't see anything under the bed or under the nightstand or anything, and
Do the nightstands have drawers?
these don't. No.
All right, I'm just gonna head back downstairs and tell the other two I didn't find anything.
Do you tell them about the flower box below the window?
Yeah, I'll tell them that it looks like someone was out there and
Stepped
that
on
yeah,
it.
there's stepped on it. There's some evidence that there were people outside his bedroom window. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so that's important information, but I'm gonna have to say that we're gonna need to call it for the night pretty much above game, because I need to get up early tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
and it's already midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta call it too.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to call it there for the night. Um, we will figure out another time to finish this, and we'll let you know. Um, I hope you enjoyed watching us make our way through this because we enjoyed trying to do it.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten to the really interesting part yet. So when we come back to finish it, definitely come and watch us do that. And please like and subscribe so we can grow the channel and bring you more stuff. We're considering a major uh, we have some ideas going around, so please help us grow the channel.
And
Any of the rest of you have anything you want to say?
Help
Let-
us grow the channel before it grows you.
like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, go to our Discord, do all those fun things. They're on the screen right now, so it should be easy for you to find.
Yep. And comment below the video. I'm always on YouTube. If I see a comment, I'll answer it.
Yep.
You guys are also welcome to answer comments if you happen to see one. So,
Yeah, if you have any questions about our characters or anything, just give us a holler. And we'll try to answer as best we can. And we'll probably not be making it up on the spot, I'm sure.
because, like I said at the beginning, this is our first attempt at Call of Cthulhu, and if you guys tell us you liked it, we may do more of it. So, with that, I'll say good night, and I hope everybody had a cool Halloween.
Happy
Bye.
Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. See you next time.
Yep. We'll be back next week with of Gunpowder and Brass. Episode, what is it, 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I guess that's it for now.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.